The only thing that this mask is going to be sniffing is my D. Alrighty, so the other day we did an Ocarina of Time dungeon tier video, and you guys seemed to really like that. We had like 2014 era YouTube CPM, and that does not come along often because YouTube is horrifying these days. But I decided to follow that up. We're gonna do a Majora's Mask tier list now. And because Majora's Mask only has 4 dungeons in which I would pretty much say, Woodfall and Snowhead are pretty good, Great Bay can suck my dick, and Stone Tower is better than pretty good, we're gonna rank the masks, because there's more of them, and I would like this video to be more than 16 seconds. And just to be clear, so the criteria we're going off on this is both like gameplay, uses, how they look visually, what their impact is on like the world of Termina. And also we're gonna be doing this on the Nintendo 64 version because I'm just gonna say it, Zora Mask N64 immediate S tier. Zora Mask 3DS, ooh, we slipping. Ooh, we slip. Yeah, that would probably be a C. Zora's gonna sink to the bottom of the sea. But yeah, N64 Zora Mask, we gotta go S tier. Swimming in Majora's Mask in the N64 is the funnest thing you can do in a video game, except roll around as Goron Link in the N64. So we're also gonna put that in S tier, just right off the bat, just mwah, cream of the crop. Let's do that. So the other 2 transformation masks are S tier. Deku Mask, all right. Deku Mask, you start off the game. It's pretty fun. It's a nice change of pace from Ocarina of Time. The Deku Mask does everything it's trying to do pretty well. I don't think it's as fun as like Zora Link or Goron Link, but Deku Link, it's a really good start to the adventure. It's like a weaker version of Link that doesn't feel too weak. Like, you're supposed to feel like it was a negative thing that happened to you whenever the Skull Kid cursed you, but it doesn't make it, like, unfun until you become normal Child Link. So I would say that, like, for doing everything that it's aiming to achieve, I would say the Deku Mask is probably a pretty solid A tier. Pretty solid. Plus, you can spin and sound nice. Yeah, that's also a definite plus. That puts it into A tier over B. But the All Night Mask... Okay, so this is the one you need to pay, like, hundreds of rupees for at the last possible second, and then you use it for, like, 2 different heart pieces. So it's got an interesting design, and, like, I feel like that side quest is just ridiculous enough that I'm, like, okay with the such strict, like, you're doing such an extreme thing to just unlock, like, a couple other things. So I would say, you know what? It's a B. The mechanics behind it, like, aren't the super greatest. But it's aesthetically pretty cool. And, like, staying up for the grandma's stories is, like, a pretty neat thing. And gives you a lot of Termina lore. So we're gonna go with it. For this guy, I'm torn. I'm torn again. Because, like, in most situations, the blast mask is, like, not important. Like, most of the time, you're gonna want to use a bomb. But for the occasions where you have no bombs and enough life to make it worth it, this is a lifesaver. So it has a really specific use, but it's not, like, used that often, I don't think. It is redundant, but free bombs, and you can shield and take no damage. That's true. Oh, that might put it into a B. The fact that if you are smart about it, you can take no damage. The fact that you can kind of, like, use it in a smarter way, but also just how ridiculous it is to, like, blow up your face as an actual strategy. Like, I'm gonna put it B. So far, we haven't had any bad masks. So let's immediately fix that with the Damascusents. All right, is there anything that the Damascusents does other than the mushroom? Like, it pretty much just leads you to the mushroom. And while I do like doing the race that you use to get this mask, because, like, it tells you more about, like, the Deku Butler and his son and stuff like that, and everyone likes getting feels about that aspect of Majora's Mask, I feel like this mask itself, like, doesn't really have anything to do, like, with that area of the game. The snorts and stuff are cute. I do like that. But I feel like its lack of connection to like what you have to actually do to get it. I feel like it was kind of like we need to fill up our mask amount as a mask. So you know what? I might decide to put it into C if there's other masks I feel more negative about later on. But for now, the only thing that this mask is going to be sniffing is my D. Those are the jokes you all subscribe for. Don't give me this nonsense. Okay, next up, just so that we can fill out and have all the tiers accounted for, I think Giant's Mask is a pretty solid C. I think it is like the definition of a C mask, because what it does is really, really cool, but it also only does it like once. Like, you literally just use this mask as a cool way to do the Twin Mold fight, and it's basically just like we wanted to make Stone Tower Temple a little bit cooler. So it's like the spinner from Twilight Princess. When you get to use it, it's pretty friggin' baller. But it doesn't really have any natural uses outside of those badass moments. So I feel like for that reason, I'm gonna have to give it a C. Also, why is my nose getting itchy again? I feel like these tier lists, I'm allergic to them. I am allergic to good YouTube content. So I feel like we have been taking into account a little bit like how you actually get the masks. And so Couples Mask is gonna be difficult to rank because it doesn't actually do anything. There is zero actual like benefit to having it, but it also like, this is what tells you that you did like the best side quest in the game. So, like, in terms of what the side quest adds to Majora's Mask, like, Couples Mask would probably be S tier. But in terms of, like, actual usage, it's D tier. So I would say that the Couples Mask probably should go directly in the middle. I feel like it has, like, the best side quest, but it's like the one mask that has no actual uses at all. It's just to tell you that you beat this side quest and experience that side quest. So I guess B, we're just gonna stick it right in the middle there. Because I feel like usually a mask that doesn't do anything, like that's a lot of negative points, like immediately. Like that's not the point of the game. But like this side quest is just so strong. I feel like we gotta do it. I feel like that's gotta raise it a couple tiers. So right in the middle, I'm pretty okay with that. Okay, next up, Bremen starts with a B, and that's why it's gonna be an A, because it's awesome. But legit, I really do like the Bremen mask. The lore, getting it from the Song of Storms guy is really, really weird. Like, just out of nowhere, talking about, like, the leader of a troop of animals and stuff like that. But also being the face of a bird and then playing a song. And, like, it's just a really weird mask that's also very fun. And then whenever you get to use it to unlock the bunny hood, that's like a really cute and really fun part of the game, is like do 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 while all the chickens follow you around. So that's one of the highlights of another highlight of the side quests in Majora's Mask. And because like the mask itself is fun, the lore behind it is just like really weird, and I don't think it's connected to anything else in Zelda. It's just a bunch of mythological weirdness, or a bunch of folktale-y weirdness. So you know what? That's a solid A. You're going right next to Deku. All right, Bunny Hood. Yeah, you know what? That's just, I'm not even gonna try to argue in any tier other than S. Bunny Hood, I wouldn't like, I'm not gonna meme and put it above S because I really like the Zora and the Goron Link like mechanics, but like a mask that just literally is like, here, make your game more efficient when you want to give up a C button, I'm okay with that. It's a really nice mask. You do a really cute side quest to get it, again, using the Bremen mask. So I really enjoy that. So yeah, automatic S tier, Bunny Hood. I'm sorry if that's like the basic Jish answer, but we're gonna be a basic Jish bish. And keeping on our good mask train, I don't even need to explain this one. Do I have to explain this one? Like, do I need to say any words? I feel like just having this mask in the A tier and looking at you in the eye, dear viewer, I think you know why this is A tier. Because that dance has moves. So many moves. Okay, so some people in chat are arguing for S. Do I want... I do really like the dancing. I like the weirdness. Like, that is actually, like, I feel that is one of the, oh no, I'm gonna argue myself into an S tier, I think. Yeah, I really like how you find this mask. Because I was gonna say A, because you do, like, really only use it once, and you just use it to get a heart piece. And it's like, it's a pretty obvious side quest. Like, you learn a dance, so you should teach it to the people that do nothing but complain about how they need to learn a dance. So like I was gonna say that's like maybe a point against it, maybe to put it into A, but I think like the fact that you can just randomly come across Camaro like on a random platform after midnight in the middle of Termina Field, I think that like single-handedly adds so much to Majora's Mask atmosphere. And like the fact that it's like, oh, like the scheduling of the game, it's not just like, oh, you need to talk to people in the day. Like, weird stuff happens at night too. And the game doesn't run on your schedule, and you're gonna have to keep your eyes open if you want to see everything this game has to offer. So, yeah, just like randomly seeing him on that mushroom rock thing and being like, what the heck is going on here? And like, and then also giving you a reason to use the Song of Healing, other than just something that is like, relevant to the main story. Like, I feel like that's really, really cool. That it gives it, like, a little bit of weight and that, like, you're helping people other than just what you need to do to, like, save all the giants and stuff like that. So you know what? The weirdness, what it adds to the atmosphere, that cancels out, like, how obvious his actual, like, side quest you do with the mask is. S tier for Camaro. Let's do it. We just had a lot of positivity, but we need to decide how much blame for the side quest you do with this mask we're gonna put on the mask itself. Because getting this mask, I'm okay with. I do like what you gotta do to actually get the mask. I think like getting the stake, bringing it to him, that's a cute little side quest. But actually, like, using this mask might be one of the worst parts of the game. So this is, like, probably D tier, but I'm trying to decide if the stake thing... Now, you know what? If the stake thing if the stake thing wasn't randomly in the chandelier, this might be a C. But the, like, sirloin, like, rock stake or whatever... randomly being in the chandelier, that's just one extra layer of like what the heck onto this, like onto everything associated with this mask. I'm sorry Froggy, you gotta go to D tier. So this mask is I keep getting conflicted on these because I'm trying to decide whether I like its use better in 3DS or N64. But in the N64 version, this is an optional thing where you need to do a whole side quest to get. You need to heal an invisible soldier and bring him a potion. And so there's a bunch you gotta do to get this, and you're not guaranteed to get the stone mask. You are definitely not guaranteed to get it before you first go into the Pirate Fortress. If you get this and then do Pirate Fortress, you feel smart as hell because you outsmarted the game. You got this power up and now you're going to use it. Whereas in the 3DS version, this mask is just in Pirate's Fortress. Like, it's a power-up you get when you're deep in Pirate's Fortress to be like, okay, now this is a lot easier. I don't know which of those I actually prefer. Because I think either way, it's a really cool mechanic. I like being able to be super stealthy. I do like the fact that it is, that it's optional in the N64 one. Like, I think that's really cool. That it's something that can make another part of the game, like, make you feel really badass doing it. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say A tier. I think Stone Mask is A tier. It's not quite good enough to be S tier, but it's still a very good mask. It has a very good purpose in the game. It's fun to use, and I think in the N64 version, how you get it is quite cool. So, A tier for Stone Mask. I'm pretty confident in that. Okay, the Captain's Mask. This one might be another A tier. I'm feeling pretty good about this being an A. It's really cool getting the Captain's Hat, because you gotta, like, fight the giant Skull Kita, and it's a unique boss fight and all that stuff. But then it's also really cool because unlike a lot of the masks that either, like, you use it for one specific thing or, like, you use it all over the world and stuff, this mask is mostly used, like, in one area, like the Ikana Graveyard. And I think, like, one area, like, kind of focusing mostly around one mask, because you use it to command the Stal Children to open up the different graves for you on different nights. I really, really like that mechanic. I think that's really cool. It's a unique relationship that the mask has to an area of the game. I don't think it's quite S tier. Like, it doesn't do anything, like, quite unique enough itself to be S tier. Like, there's no cool effects to the mask itself other than what it does in the graveyard and the effect that it has on the boss fight in Ikana Castle, which is really, really cool. And the skulls on the beach. So it has a lot of really cool uses. Yeah, I guess even beyond the graveyard. But I would say it's a pretty good A mask. This mask, this might be a solid B. I feel like this is gonna be a pretty solid B. The Garrow Mask. I like the story of how you get this mask and then how you use it. So this mask actually, for those of you who are confused, who have only played the N64 version, this mask looks differently in the N64. It looks like a more typical, like the hood and like glowing eyes and stuff like that. I like that you get this mask by beating the brothers in their race, and then they like give you this mask and reveal that they're the fake like Garrow people that go after the milk shipments and stuff like that. But because you get this like fake costume, you can then use it for real once you get to the Ikana area of the game. You can use that, and this mask has a lot of uses in that area. So I really like that kind of connection, even if the mask itself doesn't really do anything other than the ghosts of Ikana like recognize you and stuff like that. So there's not really a whole lot of actual unique usage to it, but I do like that like you get it in one location dealing with like all the farm subplots and everything, and then it eventually like kind of transitions over to being relevant to Ikana Valley. So I think that's kind of a unique thing that mask does. But because it doesn't really do anything groundbreaking, I'd say it earns like a solid B. Like one of the better B masks. Gibdo Mask! That's an A. That's gotta be an A just for what you gotta do to get it. Pamela and her father, that is just, gives me all the feels. Even though you can't use it as a transformation mask, that's still a very touching part of the game. It's one of the best parts of the back half of the game. And then, like, this does, like, being able to talk to the Gibdos and then all the weirdness that goes on in Bottom of the Well. I think that's pretty well handled. So I'd say this is another one of the good, like, gives you interactions in Ikana masks. And I think, like, the side quest to get it, saving Pamela's father, is good enough to elevate it out of B into the A tier. So, Great Fairy Mask. This does have a lot of use, But is getting the stray fairies fun? Yeah, it's very, very useful. Like, it has one of the best uses in the game, but... And I guess, like, stray fairies do add some length to the dungeon aspect of the game that the game loses out on for having fewer dungeons than the average Zelda game. So I might be tempted into A. Maybe. I feel like I'm putting a lot on A. A or B? It's gotta be B. I'm gonna give it B, like, as a benefit of the doubt to people that do get a lot of enjoyment out of the stray fairy quests. They're, like, one of the aspects of the game I'm not a huge fan of. Personally, not as much on Great Fairy, but I think it is, like, unique enough, and it does objectively have one of, like, the best effects in the game if you do want to hunt down the stray fairies. So I feel it can earn a B slot. I feel like that's acceptable. The mask gives you fabulous hair. Exactly. We give it B for bounce. All right, Cafe's mask. It's iconic because it's one of, like, the first masks you're kind of able to get. It's very weird that they're using masks to look for their lost kid, but yeah, I would say Cafe's mask is probably a solid C. The thing that stops it from being a D, since it really only has, like, one use in the middle of a trading quest, that eventually gets you other masks. The thing that's saving it from a D is, like, it is kind of iconic, Link, like, putting on Cafe's face and stuff like that. And it's a little bit weird and creepy. So that, like, uniqueness and, like, the fact that it's the start of the Cafe and Anju quest line, I feel like that gives it a little bit of benefit to go into C tier. But also, I feel like the Keaton Mask I might be angling towards C tier as well. Like, it's the iconic mask that Cafe is wearing to disguise themselves. And it was, like, the first mask in Ocarina of Time in that mask trading quest. So this was, like, the definitive, like, 3D Zelda mask for a while. But then in this game, it, like you just do it for the quiz. It's not super related to Cafe. Like, I get that Cafe's, like, been turned into a kid and Keaton's supposed to be a popular children's character, but it still feels like a little bit like, oh, well, we better give them this mask from Ocarina of Time. And then they came up with the quiz as, like, the thing you get from it or whatever. Similar to how the nighttime mask has, like, one outcome from it, I feel like this is kind of the same. So I'm gonna give it a C because it gets a few benefits. But I would say C's all right for it. But, like, a pretty good C. So what does Mask of Truth do other than letting you talk to the dog? Like, you kill all these spiders, you get the mask, and then you cheat at gambling by reading a dog's mind. I guess it does also give you the hint stones, that's true. But I feel like with the Mask of Truth having been, like, super important and, like, the pinnacle of the masks in Ocarina of Time, I think it gets a little bit of, like, the short end of the stick in this game. Like, it's not something vastly important. Like, it is just something you use for, like, Easter eggs from the Sheikah Stones, or, like, talking to the dogs. So I feel like B is a pretty, is an okay spot for it. Just because, like, I feel like could have done something, like, a bit more epic. If we really wanted to give importance to the Mask of Truth and, like, importance to the Sheikah. Postman's Hat. Wait, does this actually unlock anything? Or is it just another, like, this shows you beat the Anju and Cafe quest? Like, you get a piece of heart from checking the mailbox. But is that it? Yeah, if that's it, that might be, yeah, this might be a D tier. Just a piece of heart. Yeah, okay. Here is my argument for D tier. You just get a piece of heart, but also you have to choose between getting this as your reward for the Anju and Cafe quest, other than the couple's mask, or you can, like, have that actual sentimental moment with Cafe's mother and stuff like that. I feel like that's the weaker of those two options. And then the fact that it just lets you, like, get one piece of heart. Yeah, I feel like Postman's hat is pretty much a D. I feel like the Postman gets the D. All right. Lets me drink all the alcoholic milk I could want. S tier. Immediately. Actually, let's add a new alcoholic tier. And, all right. What you do to get this is pretty cool. I really like the Romani Ranch side quests. This opens up another really cool side quest with playing the Ballad of the Windfish at the bar and stuff like that. I would say this is probably, because it both leads into a really good side quest, and it gives you and it's the end of a really good side quest, so it's right between two really good side quests, and the fact that you get to look just like a nice cow, and that's really funny, that's an A tier. I gotta stop sniffing coke before I stream. Circus Leader's Mask. Again, comes at the end of a really good side quest, but this doesn't really do anything for you in the N64 version, right? Do you get anything from this mask? Yeah, it makes the Garrow brothers sad, I guess. It's very much just an Easter egg. Like, this feels like another one of the, like, we had to pad it out to 24 masks to fill up the equipment screen type thing. So, I feel like the Easter egg is cool, like seeing the Garrow brothers cry, because that's very much not how they're usually portrayed. So I'd say that's like C tier. I'd say that's a solid C. Well, here we are. The last boy. Alrighty, here's the thing. If you are going to have a reward that deliberately makes you stupidly overpowered for completing most of the game, so for almost completing everything in the game, if you're going to have a reward for that, you should not restrict it to only the boss fights. I think that if Fierce Deity was, like, in normal gameplay, once you had unlocked it, you could use it anywhere. Even if it was, like, timed or something, but you could use it anywhere, that would be S tier. That'd be a really, really, like, nice reward for 100%ing. But as it stands, to get the Fierce Deity Mask, you need every other mask in the game. You need to have, like, got into the moon, so you need to have, like, beaten the game, essentially. You need to have done, like, 90% of the game. Like, there's a few heart pieces you might not have needed to have gotten. But other than that, like, you've mostly done everything. And then the Fierce Deity Mask, like, you get that rush of killing Majora, like, super quickly. But other than that, the only other thing you can do is just, like, destroy the other boss battles really quickly. But if you've already gotten, like, all the other masks and, like, everything else, like, you don't have any incentive to go kill those bosses again. Like, it's literally just to, like, show off, like, how powerful Fierce Deity is. But if Fierce Deity's, like, only available in those bosses, like, what's, like, it's not as big a deal how powerful he is, because you, like, don't really have any incentive to use it. So because of that, yeah, I don't think, like, giving you that many restrictions on your all-powerful endgame item, I really disagree with that. But because I do really like how it is treated solely in the like the final Majora battle, because you do feel like, oh, I put in all this extra work and now this boss battle's like really easy. I like that, but I feel like other than that, it's not the greatest, like, reward for the very end of the game. So I would say, this might be controversial, but Fierce Deity, more like Fierce Beity. Like, comment, and subscribe. So yeah, that is my tier list. A decent amount of S tier, decent amount of A tier, a lot of B tier, and then just a few stragglers that they're all right masks, but just couldn't compare to the rest of them. So thank you guys for watching. If you want more Zelda tier list, tell me what I should be tiering up about, I guess. And tell me in the comments below. And press the like button. And do that other stuff you're supposed to do on YouTube, I guess.